what is our allegiance? Or how do we give things to God? Like those things that are central to us. Welcome to Finding God in the Times of COVID. Today is October the 18th. There's this story toward the end of Matthew's Gospel, this story that he wrote about the life of Jesus, that he wrote to this primarily a Jewish community who had become Jews, who had become Christians. And while they're not too far from the temple, some Pharisees, part of the Jewish community, and some Herodians, folks who, as their name implies, had somewhat of an allegiance toward Rome, Herod. They come up to Jesus because, I think basically they're tired of all that he's been talking about and doing. And I suspect that somewhere in there, when people are worried about how things are going for them, there's a little sense of fear embedded in there. And so they come up to trick him. And they say, hey, should we pay taxes to Caesar or should we not? They wanted to trap him because they knew that either way he answered, he'd kind of undo himself. So Jesus said, hey, pull out a coin. So they hunt around in their pockets and they pull out this coin. And it's a coin that has an image of Tiberius on one side of it, and on the other side of it, it's this coin that's got an image of a woman with some wording, Pontiff Maximus, like high priest, whose image is on it. And they say, yeah, it's one of Caesar's coins. So Jesus says, hey, give to Caesar what's Caesar's, and give to God what's God's. What does it mean to give to God what is God's? And it's one of those things that if you took the story just sort of at face value and didn't poke around a lot, it might be, give half to Caesar, whatever's owed through taxes and stuff, and, give the other half to God. But as I mentioned, this is at the end of Matthew's recounting the story of Jesus' life. And so it's in some ways like the toward the crescendo of the story and the build-up. And what we know from reading Matthew's gospel is that God demands everything from us. That God wants us to place God at a central place in our lives, and that like all the other decisions that we make in our lives revolve around God. So I wonder how we might do that today. I know we do things that express allegiance to different sorts of entities. It might be allegiance to family. It might be allegiance to an organization we're connected to. It might be allegiance to a nation. But to be clear, when we make a decision to follow God's way in our lives, that's our primary allegiance, so that if any other things that happen in our life, if you have to pick this or that, as followers of Jesus' way, we're picking that way. Render unto Caesar what's Caesar's. It's some of what we render. Render unto God what is God's, which is everything. Our whole life, ourself, our all. Just like the image of Caesar or Tiberius is imprinted on the coin. God's image is printed on us, imprinted or stamped, so that whatever we do, whatever our economy or currency is in our life, it's reflective of that one in whose image each of us is made. Blessings on your day.